The smell hits first, before your eyes open, before you remember falling asleep. Something thick and animal and wrong floods your lungs and your body goes rigid before your brain catches up. Then the cold. Not room temperature cold. Not forgot to close the window cold. Bone deep, unforgiving. The kind of cold that bypasses comfort and speaks directly to survival. You open your eyes. There is no ceiling. There is sky, purple, black, and enormous, crowded with more stars than you have ever seen in your life. No city glow. No airplane blinking in the distance. No satellites tracing slow lines across the dark. Just the raw, unfiltered night pressing down on you like a physical weight. You sit up. Your hands press into wet dirt. Not carpet. Not concrete. Dirt. And something moves in the dark to your left, maybe 30 feet away. You hear it pause. You are not where you were. You don't know how. You don't know why. What you know is this. You fell asleep in your apartment, in your bed, with your phone charging on the nightstand. And now you are here, wherever here is, whenever here is. It takes about 40 seconds for your brain to start assembling what your senses are delivering. The air has nothing artificial in it. No exhaust, no chemicals, no electricity. It smells like deep earth and leaves and something dead not far away and something alive even closer. The sounds are wrong too. No distant traffic, no hum of wiring inside walls. Just insects and wind and the low, faraway call of something you cannot name. You are in the Stone Age. You cannot know exactly when. Your brain makes its best guess, and the number it arrives at is not a comfortable one. Roughly 50,000 years ago, give or take, a version of Earth so alive it hums with it. A version of Earth that has never once considered your survival its responsibility. You have 24 hours. Not because anyone told you, because that is the only unit of time that means anything right now. 24 hours. Make it to the next sunrise. Hour 1 begins now. The first thing fear does is tell you to run, to move. Anywhere. You resist it because running blind in total darkness across a landscape you don't know is how you fall into a ravine or run directly into something that is already watching you. You stay still. You breathe. You listen. The thing that moved to your left is still there, weight shifting on leaves. Too heavy to be a small animal, not quite heavy enough to be what your brain is refusing to picture. You don't look at it directly. You angle your gaze just beside it, the way your eyes catch shapes better in low light when you don't aim straight. And in the gap between two trees you can make out a silhouette, wide, pale, low to the ground. It watches you. 1 minute passes, then it turns and walks away. You realize you have not breathed. By the end of hour 1, you have established two things. You are alive, and something else was deciding whether or not to change that. Hour 2. You need shelter. Not walls and a roof, just your back against something solid and a clear line of sight in front. You move, and every step is a negotiation between urgency and silence. A branch cracks under your foot, and your entire body reacts before you can stop it. You find a limestone outcropping a quarter mile from where you woke up. You press your back against the cold rock and crouch and do nothing except breathe for what feels like a long time. The cold is getting worse. This is the part that does not get enough attention. Not the predators, not the darkness, the cold. It is methodical. It does not announce itself dramatically. It just takes. Degree by degree, it makes your hands less useful, your thinking slower, your balance uncertain. A body losing heat in an environment like this does not go out like a light. It fades, and then it stops. You need fire. You have nothing. No lighter, no matches. Just the vague, terrible knowledge that people once rubbed sticks together and it worked. You look at your hands, you look at the ground. You start collecting wood, dry sticks, dry bark, anything sheltered by the overhang where the rock kept the rain off. A pile. Then a smaller pile. Then a nest of the finest, driest material you can find with fingers that are already going numb. Hour 3. You have been attempting friction fire for close to an hour. Your hands are shaking. Nothing has happened. The method is not something you can intuit. It requires the right wood pairing, the right moisture level, a consistent downward pressure your fear-locked hands cannot maintain. Every time you get close, you lose the angle and have to start over. You keep going. You are crying at some point. You notice it when you feel the cold on your cheek. Then, in the nest of grass and bark powder, a thin curl of smoke. So thin you almost miss it. You lower your face and exhale the most careful breath you have ever produced, long and slow and steady. The coal catches. The fire is small, embarrassingly small. A child could cover it with one hand. But it is real, and the heat against your face is so immediate, so physical, that something breaks open in your chest. You feed it, slowly, reverently, like it is the only thing in the world, because right now, it is. Hour 4. The fire creates a new problem. Light is visible, and everything in this landscape that uses darkness to hunt will notice the interruption. You hear the first one about 20 minutes later. A sound from the tree line to your left. 80 feet out, maybe less. Not a growl. Not yet. Something lower than a growl. A resonant note dropped into the air to see what responds. You pick up the largest rock you can close your hand around. You do not throw it. You just hold it. The sound does not repeat. But the thing does not leave. You hear it, circling. Patient in a way that is worse than aggression, because aggression ends, patience doesn't. You feed the fire. You do not sleep. Hour 6. The middle of the night arrives, and it does something to your mind. Your thoughts stop being useful. You start bargaining with things that cannot hear you. Something screams in the distance. Far away but enormous, the volume of it wrong for anything you have a reference for. Not a human sound. Not a sound from any zoo or documentary. You press harder against the rock. Hour 8. The thing in the tree line has been there for 4 hours. You know this because the insects went quiet in that direction when it arrived, and they have not come back. Insects don't go quiet around nothing. Your fire is lower. You have been careful with the wood, but careful is not the same as having more. At the absolute edge of your firelight, in the space where orange loses to black, a shape materializes. Enormous. Cat proportioned, but built for a different scale entirely. Thick through the chest, thick through the shoulders. Constructed the way something is constructed when nothing has ever needed to chase it. Its eyes catch the firelight, and 2 amber points appear in the dark. Level and steady and utterly without urgency. A cave lion. You have seen the word in a museum, seen recreations in documentaries, heard the dramatic music layered over slow-motion footage. None of that prepared you for the specific quality of stillness that descends when one is standing 12 feet away from you and making a calculation. You grab a burning branch from the fire, raise it. Your arm is shaking so badly the flame gutters. The lion watches the fire, then it turns. Unhurried. The walk of something that has made a decision and is bored by it. And it moves back into the dark. Your legs stop working. You sit down hard on the ground. Your breathing is loud and ugly and completely outside your control. You are still alive. Hour 12. Midnight. Roughly. The halfway point. You have not eaten. You are dehydrated. Your hands have cuts from the rock and the bark and the firework. Your back aches from limestone. You smell like smoke and fear and something older than both. 12 hours left. The night does not soften. It does not give you anything. It continues. Cold and enormous and completely indifferent to your specific survival. Hour 15. The sky changes. A shade of dark blue replacing the black at the horizon. Barely perceptible and the most beautiful thing you have ever seen. Not dawn. Pre-dawn. The suggestion that dawn is a real thing that will actually happen. The sounds shift. The insects that belong to full dark begin to quiet. Birds start in the trees. The earliest ones, testing the air, and the sound of them reaches you like something physical. You are still here. Hour 16. Full light, gray and cold and brilliant. You see the landscape for the first time, and it stops you. Because there are no lines. No right angles anywhere. No evidence in any direction of a human being having deliberately altered anything. Just an immense grassland that slides into dense forest to the west, and a river visible as a silver thread maybe 2 miles to the east, and beyond the river, low hills covered in something you cannot identify from here. A mammoth. 3 of them. Moving slowly along the far tree line. And you watch them and cannot say a single word. It is extraordinary. It is also not safe to stand here in the open. Hour 18. The river nearly kills you twice getting there. The first time is a slope you misjudge, loose shale and wet soil, and you go down 9 or 10 feet of it on your side and hit the bank hard enough to see your vision go white at the edges. You lie still. You take inventory, bruised badly, a rib that is communicating its displeasure clearly. The palm of your right hand opened on a rock. You get up. The second time is at the water's edge. Kneeling to drink, face almost to the surface, and you register the shape on the opposite bank in the same moment it registers you. A cave bear, standing upright to see you better, taller than anything that should be standing on 2 legs. Looking at you with an expression that is purely evaluative. You back away from the water one slow step at a time. It does not follow. Upstream, around a bend with clear sight lines in both directions, you find a shallow spot and you drink. The water is cold in a way that has no parallel in your other life. Clean in a way that bottled water has never approximated, and you drink until you feel it moving through you. Hour 20, you smell them before you see them. Wood smoke, the same bass note as your fire, but deeper, older, with food underneath it. They appear on the ridge above the river, 3 of them. Shorter than you expected, heavier through the shoulders and chest in a way that reads as a different architecture, not fat, structural. Their brows are heavy, their jaws are different, but the eyes are clear and dark and present in a way that your brain cannot categorize as anything except alive and aware and watching you with the same intensity you have been watching everything else for the last 20 hours. You raise both hands, one of them raises a spear. You go completely still. The silence between you lasts long enough to count your own heartbeat. Then the one with the spear lowers it. Not all the way, just enough. They do not come down. They do not leave. They watch you from the ridge in the gray morning light, and you watch them. And nothing is said because there is no language that crosses this distance. Then, the oldest of them turns, and they walk away. Hour 23. You are exhausted past the point where tiredness is the right word. Your body is running on something older than willpower. You sit on a rise with your back against a tree and watch the light move across the grassland, and you think about nothing in particular for the first time in 23 hours. 1 hour. 1 hour, and whatever brought you here will take you back. You hold on to this. You have to hold on to it. Hour 24. You don't feel it coming. The air changes first. Something shifts in its weight or its temperature, or some quality that has no name in your vocabulary. The light changes next, and you close your eyes. When you open them, there is a ceiling. Your phone is on the nightstand. The charger is plugged in. Outside, the city is exactly what it always is. Noise and light and 1,000 systems humming along, keeping everything working, keeping everyone warm. You sit up, your hands are clean. The cuts are gone, your rib is silent. There is no evidence on your body of any of it. Except you know. You know what the air tastes like before anything burns it. You know what real dark sounds like before electricity filled it in. You know what it is to hold a fire you built with your own hands and understand, in your chest and your bones, that it is the only thing standing between you and the cold and the dark and everything in the dark. You shower. You make coffee. You sit at your kitchen table and stare at the wall. The world outside is identical to the one you left, but you are not the same person who fell asleep in it, and you never will be.